Welcome in Craft and Design 3.0 for my dear audience. In this video, I'll describe some different and much beautiful ideas of metal project like is railroad spike or different other items like is different men's project on chairs or different other for playing games for playing our children games and different other items like as for decoration purpose. Dear audience, but in special, I also prescribe a metal or railroad spike made from what is a spike used in railway. It is a some different question of what is a metal project. So, I say that a spike are made of relatively low carbon steel, which is softer than the steel used in rail and spike malls. So, this is important because when a spike is driven, it would not break into flying steel chip, and it will like stay in place when bent. Every lot of new spike must be tested to see if they will perform on the job. So, a rail for pedestrian, for the purpose of a pedestrian, we say that a man can be easily reliable and rely in them are much confirmed. So, like as a rail spike, also known as a cut spike, or crampon is a large nail with an offset head that is used to secure rails and uh, base other different base method. But basically, uh, in my video, I prescribe some metal, special metal project because metal is much usable in making a different thing like as a metal. And originally a metal is a material that when freshly prepared, polished or fractured shows a lustrous appearance and conducts electricity and heat relatively as well. And if we define it, then metal are usually crystalline solid in most cases. They have a relatively simple crystal structure distinguished by a close packing of atom and a high degree of symmetry. Typically, the atoms of metal contains less than half the full complement of electrons in their outer sum because metal first made how was metal first made from around 9000 BC people in different lands began to work with nuggets of soft metals such as copper. Later they discovered how to extract metal such as tin from rocks by smelting heating. Finally they discovered how to melt metals together to make new materials called alloys such as bronze. And if we talk about full form of metal, then malleability and electric conductor and tensile strength also. So, what metal explain? Metal are opaque, lustrous elements that are good conductor of heat and electricity. Most metal are malleable and ductile and are in general denser than the other elemental substances. So metal are used in transportations, cars, buses, trucks, trains, ships, and airplanes are also used. So as metals are good conductor of electricity, so they are used to make wires and parts of equipment and gadgets that function on electrical current. So popular example include TV, mobiles, fridge, iron, computer, and so other metal. So copper is one of man's earliest metals and was used to replace stone tools due to its superior shaping qualities. Though copper exact origin is uncertain and archaeologists generally credit early Mesopotamians as the first to fully harness copper's ability. So all of us metal originated billions of years ago when the universe first appeared inside the ultra-hot environment of the stars. Simple hydrogen and helium atom fused to create heavier element. And if we talk about who introduced metal by 5000 BC, the dawn of metallurgy had arrived as evidence exists of the smelting of simple copper oxide ores such as malachite and ozorite around 350 BC. The first signs of bronze uses by the ancient Sumerians started to appear in the Tigris. Uh, Euphrates Valley in Western Asia. So, where is metal found? Most pure metal come from the Earth's crust. They are found in ores, which is a solid material that mineral and metal can be taken from. Nearly a third of the planet mass is element iron, and most of that can be found in the planet core. So the first discovery of metal probably happens during the period of 4000 BC, and the first metal that was used by man was copper. So metal are aluminium, copper, iron, tin, gold, lead, silver, titanium, uranium, and zinc. Well known alloys include bronze and steel. So most elements on the periodic table are metal. Example of metal element include iron, copper, silver, mercury, lead, aluminium, and different atoms. Because metal are usually ductile, malleable, shiny, and can form alloys with other metals. Metals are tremendously important to a high energy society. They transport electricity in the electrical grid and provide many services. So various manufacturing processes around the world uses more than 3 gigatons of metals every year. So, metal is a solid material that conducts heat and electricity, hard, shiny, malleable, fusible, and ductile. So, metals are substances that have the tendency to donate electrons. They are electropositive in nature, and I think that it is a most uh, confirmative in sincerity and effectively. Yeah, I think that dear audience, in astrophysics, the term metal is cast more widely if we talk about astrophysics to refer to all chemical elements in a star that are heavier than helium and not just traditional metal in the sense on the first four metals collecting in stellar cores, though nucleosynthesis are carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and neon, so all of which are strictly non-metal in chemistry. So a star fuses lighter atoms, mostly hydrogen and helium, into heavier atoms over its lifetime. Used in that sense, the metallicity of an astronomical object is a proportion of its matter made up of heavier chemical elements. So metal as chemical element comprises to 5% of the Earth's crust and are present in many aspects of modern life. So the strength and resilience of some metals has led to their frequent use in, for example, high-rise building and bridge construction, as well as most vehicle. So many home appliances, tools, pipes, and railroad tracks. So precious metals were historically used as coinage, but in the modern era, coinage metals have extended to at least 23 of the chemical elements. So the history of refined metal is thought to begin with the use of copper about 11,000 years ago. Gold, silver, iron, lead, and brass were likewise in use before the first known appearance of bronze in the 5th millennium BC. Subsequent development include the production of early forms of steel, the discovery of sodium, so the first light metal in 8009, the rise of modern alloy steel, and since the end of World War II, the development of more sophisticated alloys. So, if we talk about this, its property, then metal are shiny and lustrous, at least when freshly prepared, polished, or fractured. Sheets of metal thicker than a few micrometers appears opaque, but gold leaf transmits a green light. So the solid or liquid state of metal largely originates in the capacity of the metal atoms involved to readily lose their outer shell electrons. Broadly, the force is holding an individual atom's outer shell electrons in place are weaker than the attractive forces on the same electrons arising from interaction between the atom in the solid or liquid metal. So the electron involved become delocalized and the atomic structure of a metal can effectively be visualized as a collection of atoms embedded in a cloud of relatively mobile electrons. So this type of interaction is called a metallic bond. So the strength of metallic bond for different elemental metals reaches a maximum around the center of the transition metal series as these elements have large number of delocalized electrons. Although most element metals have higher densities than most non-metals, there is a wide variation in their densities, lithium being the least dense and osmium the most dense. So some of the 6D transition metals are expected to be denser than osmium, but prediction on their densities vary widely in the literature, and in any case their known isotopes are too unstable for bulk production to be possible. So thank you very much guys for watching my video. Once again, thank you very much.